That was Melvin's boss.
That's a city.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know all these people.
Right. All right. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission to order, the February 8th, 2018 meeting to order. Let the record show Commissioners Schaaf, Will Roloff, Wanazek, and Goldhahn are all present. First item on just want to let you know, we sent out the amended agenda to move the deliberation to the end of the agenda so that all the non-commissioners don't have to sit around and wait for us to do the rest of it. So this made much more sense for that. First item is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held January 4th. Those were in your packet, although Mary and I haven't had a chance to look through them. So if you want to do that, feel free.
I think I was here for this too.
Yes.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes from Commissioner Wanazek.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schaaf. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, minutes are approved. President's report. With everything we've got going before us, I'm not going to give a report today, so we'll go right into the report from the chiefs.
I'll let him go first this time. How about that?
Okay. If you haven't seen the Press Gazette, has a little article in there about a lawsuit being filed against us by one of the women on the Admiral Court case. That was a use of force case that resulted in one of our officers getting a Brady letter and quitting and all that business. So that's there. Our crime numbers are in for 2017, and nothing short of fantastic. A 9.77% overall reduction in crime, which was great. 0 homicides for the whole year, which is great. That's 0 UCR homicides. We had an infant that was killed as a result of neglect, which doesn't count as statistics. It's still a terrible tragedy. And then we had an individual who shot his buddy, goofing around with a gun in the middle of the year. That does not count as a homicide for criminal homicide purposes. So no homicides, first time since 1981. We're looking at a crime rate right around what we had in the mid-70s. So I told one of the guys on the Channel 5 today, I said, you know, this is what we're going to, when we might say this is the good old days, you know, this is the Ozzie and Harriet days for Green Bay as far as crime rate is concerned. So good news there. The night shift complaint is the one that, harassment complaint that we've been working on for a year. The redaction is done. The letters have gone out to the officers that are named or that are accused or got penalized for that. So in about 12 working days from yesterday, that's going to be released to the public. So we'll have some questions. I'm sure they're going to have to answer some questions on that. And the last thing I want to mention is we're looking at a new station. As you know, we looked at a couple different pieces of property. Right now we're focusing on a piece of property which is right over there, which is from Pine to Cherry, from, what is it, Madison to Jackson?
Monroe.
Monroe
Monroe
to,
yeah.
Monroe, Quincy, and 1 block over. There's a job placement place is there, job placement building is there. They're planning moving out anyway. There's an attorney, a law firm there. There's a halfway house there. There's another building that's for sale, and there's really not much in there except a bunch of parking lots. So it's a 5.5 acre site. We need 5.2 for the footprint for the whole place. So if we could go with that, great. The mayor's asked us to look at that site and another site, which would be rebuilding it on our site. My thoughts are that site might be a little bit small because it's only 3.2 acres. We may need a parking structure, which is a huge cost if we had to add a parking structure to it. And there's probably more that you'll have on updates on Station 1 and whatnot. But that's basically it for me.
All right. Any questions for the chief?
Well, kudos on the statistical year.
Crime's great. Yeah, crime is that was fantastic for us. Now, unfortunately, this year we already had a homicide. We had a 24-day-old infant that was killed by his father. You know, and so that 14 months we had or something like that. But he's in custody. The charges have been filed, so it's self-solver, I guess.
Just a reminder that the new recruits will be starting on Monday, March 5th. Their orientation will be at Station 1 in the training room there, starting at 8 o'clock. Commissioners are all welcome to be there for that. I received a new disability application this week from one of our firefighters. So, again, all the paperwork was in place and had letters from 3 doctors certifying that he could not do his job. So at that point, we have to put him on administrative leave, contact HR, go through all the mechanics there, but the bottom line is he will not be coming back to employment one way or the other. We don't get to choose, the state decides the disability or not. So instead of hiring 5, we'll be hiring 6 in this next process. So HR is already working on the backgrounds on the 6th application. I think that we're pretty good there. He's got to go to his medical.
Yep.
So we should have that all in place so that we are not short. And then there'll be some subsequent moves in that position from the bottom on up. So talk more about that maybe next month when this is settled out or when everything's been accomplished. So, probably seen on the news, we were given just short of $100,000 donation for a family that contacted us and wanted to do something for public safety, specifically for the fire department. So they gave us $100,000, of which we bought ballistic vests and helmets. And I could go into all the reasons why we would do that, but I won't. Other than to say that there's a lot of threats out there, and there's been a lot of attacks around the country on police and fire personnel and EMS personnel, and so we're not immune to that. Further than that, we're working with the police right now to integrate into their SWAT team, tactical EMS. So that's just in infant stages of working with them to put some medical support up front with their people under the guidance of Chief Smith. So we're working on that right now. Hopefully have that locked down and operating, I would hope, within 6 months, if not sooner. So that's a big endeavor, so we're working on that. Last but not least, there's the potential that Station 1, where all of our administrative offices are at, could be sold. And we've been asked to look at the space on the 4th floor here for administration, which is doable. There are a lot of semantics to work through there, a lot of operational issues to work through. We were told potentially as soon as June 1st, which would be, in my view, unrealistic. But given more time, certainly something that we could work through. We'd have to move our battalion chief to a different area. We'd have to change our whole training operation. There's a lot of things that go along with that. Storage of our reserve units, storage of all of our medical equipment and our narcotics and all of those things which are done there. We have to change all that. So there's a lot of work to be done, especially if a June 1st date was really like what was intended. So I don't know if that's going to really actually happen. But
Who owns the city?
we own Station 1. We own the building. Yes. So.
Now, the long-term plan is still for the headquarters that Chief Smith talked about to be a joint headquarters for police and fire.
That is good.
But it's just that interim time between.
Well, and that could be, best case scenario is 2 years.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario is I'm retired. So, we have to get the council on board to do that.
It's going to happen sooner than 15 years, isn't it?
Anyway,
Don't you have an engine there too?
All of the administration is there. The battalion chief, so East Side Battalion is there 24 hours a day. He runs his truck out of there. But we've got reserve apparatus in there because we have no place else to put it. It has to be in a warm, secure area. We've got several ambulances there, the fire marshals, investigative units there, pickup truck, we move it up.
So where would the crew stay here in the 4th floor overnight if they're in 24 hours?
No, I'd have to move it some. So that is creating, just kind of a domino effect.
Yeah.
So that's out there. We're still committed to going with the police's public safety building, which I don't know how fast that's going to move along. I guess depending on all the politics that go on, all that. So working through that stuff. So that's really all I have. Looking forward to the academy. Looking forward to those guys getting started. We're adding one more again, so there'll be 6 instead of 5. And I think that's all I have.
Any other questions for Chief?
It's 8 a.m. on the 5th, you said, Chief?
Yeah.
On the 2nd floor.
Station 1, yep. Right there, just ring the bell. Or I'll probably have somebody out the door.
All right, next item is consideration with possible action on the request from the fire chief to extend the battalion chief eligibility list expiration date through March 31st of this year.
So our current list expired actually on February 1st, and we did not have a meeting or whatever. Nonetheless, we don't want to. We do want to give another test because we have more interest from more personnel. We might have upwards of 8 or 10 people take the test, and so we want to give people the opportunity. The most important, we don't have any openings at this point. The very important part about that is when they're on the battalion list, when we are short one, we bring them up, and they fill that role, and they get on the job kind of experience dealing with the role. And so while we hire from that list in order, really it's also a training ground for the future. So right now we won't, unless something changes in our personnel, we won't have an opening in the battalion ranks for about 2.5 to 3 years, and then there'll be several at that time. But we want to keep an ongoing list. We just didn't have time between everything else that was going on to get it together. So Rob Gottlieb is putting together some dates right now so that we will have that process done and ready. I guess I would probably say that we should request that it be expire on your meeting in April. That way we can have it completed by March 31st, and at your April meeting that you could approve the new list. I guess would probably make a lot of sense. Otherwise, I'm trying to get it done by first Thursday in March now. I think that's okay.
So that would be April 5th.
Yep.
So rather than March 31, extend it to April 5.
That, just from a semantic standpoint, that makes more sense.
Okay. All right. Any questions? No. Entertain a motion to grant the request.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Roloff. Seconded by Commissioner Wanazak. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimously carried. And then, actually, Chief, I think that's pretty much all the fire, so if you've got other things to do,
Yeah.
appreciate you going.
Just reporting out of town and out of the country from tomorrow to the 20th, so Assistant Chief Gottlieb will be in charge of the department during my absence.
Have a good time.
See you later.
Someplace warm.
Yes, well, it's a nice one.
All right, next item is consideration of possible action on the request to approve the patrol officer eligibility list. That list was in your packet. And again, that's an alphabetical list. And those folks that we have gone through and hired, we may or may not have done backgrounds on these yet. And within the explanation letter, Jen noted that for the future, oftentimes the backgrounds will be done before the time of the interviews for the commission. So any questions on that? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Moved by Commissioner Wanazak.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The list is approved unanimously. Next item, consideration with possible action on the voluntary removal of a patrol officer candidate from the eligibility list. That was not in our packet.
Same list? Is he
This
on
was
that?
not in your packet.
I didn't see one in mine, no.
Is he on that list that we just approved?
Yes, so he had to be on it and then he's removed.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's the memo.
Okay.
That wrote,
I'll,
Brody.
just for the purposes here, I'll go ahead and read it. On January 31st, 2018, Brody Wayans contacted the Human Resources Department and requested that his name be removed from the patrol officer eligibility list. And Jen is recommending that, or Melanie is recommending that the candidate be removed from the patrol officer eligibility list. Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to grant that removal request.
Did we interview them?
so moved.
Brody Lyons, you said?
Yes.
His grandfather was one.
moved by Commissioner Roloff. Is there a second?
So,
Seconded by Commissioner Wamzak. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Unanimous consent to grant his request to be removed. Next item was consideration of possible action on the communication, the budget status report and budget spreadsheet. We've gone through 1 month of the year and we've spent 20% of our dollars, although some of those are one-time expenditures. That we have the hiring process user fee from Fox Valley for the fire, the rest are all patrol officer exams and interviews. So I entertain a motion to receive that and place on file unless there's some questions. All right. Hearing none. Motion to receive and place on file.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we will receive and place the budget status report and spreadsheet on file. Consideration of possible action on request to approve monthly bills. One of the bills were in there with psych reports and physicals for our hiring.
So moved.
Any questions? Moved by Commissioner Roloff to authorize payment of bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Shaw. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous consent to approve the bills. Date and time of the next meeting, our next regular meeting would be March 1st, and that would be at 3 o'clock. So with that, Chief, thank you. Last item on the agenda is further proceedings with regard to the hearing on the motion to withdraw and motion to dismiss the statement of charges against Officer Paul T. Sporl by Police Chief Andrew Smith, dated July 31st, 2017. Please take notice that pursuant to Wisconsin statutes, section 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C, B, A, B, C, and F, and G, and 19.85, paragraph 2, the Commission may from time to time entertain motion and convene in closed session to evaluate information and arguments presented regarding the discipline, performance evaluation, or disciplinary data of a public employee, and or for purposes of deliberating the case before it, and or for the purpose of conferring with counsel with regard to the matter before it. After any closed session during said hearing, the Commission may reconvene in open session for purposes of continuing or conducting the motion hearing and conducting such other matters as allowed by law. I request a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wamzak.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on to go into closed session. Commissioner Shaw.
Yes.
Commissioner Roloff.
Yes.
Commissioner Wamzak.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So we are in closed session.
You want me to stick around, or am I good? Or?
No, you're good.
Okay. Hey, what's the latest on Jen?
Keep us safe.
And paid me, so